Good evening. How's everybody doing? Hello, Michelle. Like I always do, we're gonna wait a few minutes before we get started. I think punctuality for some is an option. So I've learned to wait a few minutes. That's okay. That is the central theme. Can men and women just be friends? That is the central theme. I'll wait another minute. Let me put my clock, my countdown clock, and then we'll go ahead and start. Where is my clock? That's what we're doing. All right, we are going to go ahead and get started. Just saying hi to everybody out there that's watching and participating. This is Dr. Ogburn, Dr. O. So I thank you for viewing this video, and thanks to those who will be participating. Make sure you hit that subscription button and that notification bell. Somebody brought up to me the other day that instead of going with Dr. O, I should go with Dr. OG. This was a young person. What the hell do you know about being an OG? Anyway, before I get started, there's a caveat for guys. And I think I may have to give away some of our secrets during this broadcast. I think in a natural progression, as we go through points of clarification, I feel I may have to give away some of the points, some of the things that we do. So try not to be too upset. All right, so with that said, I wanted to talk this evening to you all about a recent conversation that I had with a few people, and those conversations reminded me of some past conversations that I had. I can't recall exactly what brought up those memories, but nonetheless, here we are. And it's about friendships. Now, we know that friendships in general, they carry all types of benefits for both men and women. We got friends who we can go to for help. That may go out with us, go to the club with us, with a financial bind, help us with jobs and networking, and even introduce us to people we may be interested in, or potential mates. And then we also have friends who can harm. right? So they may betray our secrets, our trust, and even really go after the same person or people that we were interested in. The crux of this conversation is about opposite sex friendship. And I'm talking more on men who generally like women and women who like men, those type of friendships. I read a study. Let me back up. So that's the topic of today's video. Can men and women be friends? Can they just be friends? So I wanted to hear your thoughts before I give my answer, and then we'll dig a little bit into it. But can men and women just be friends? What are y'all thoughts? I think they can. Absolutely. If attracted to one another, no. That is a point of contention, right? Because I think to some degree, at all times, well, let me back up. To some degree, at sometimes, men are looking for Miss Right, or heard people say Miss Right now, but we're looking for Mrs. the right cup size to waist hip ratio, and women may be looking for Mr. Right facial symmetry or something like that. But there's attraction there, so that's a good point. If attracted to one another, no. Somebody said, I think they can. I read a study, since someone brought up attraction. I read a study. It was an older one, so I think it may be something more modern out there. But I read a study that said half of men and some of the women, I can't recall the ratio, I think it was less than 25%, but approximately half of the men and some of the women report a sexual attraction to their friends. And again, that was just one study. And I've read other articles who I can't for the life of me recall the percentage, but they had similar conclusions and similar findings, and it kind of appear with my own or align with my own experiences, and that there's some type of attraction there. What do y'all think? Someone said definitely men and women can be friends, or just friends, just friends. Who else? What do y'all think? Can men and women just be friends? And tell me why. If you think so, why? Then if you don't think so, why not? Depends on the situation. I think everything is dependent or contingent on the situation. So without looking at it from that perspective, Bob, as far as saying it depends on the situation, I'm talking about in general at the moment. We can get specific a little later, but in general, can they? I missed the question. My apologies. Can men and women just be friends? Somebody said yes, they can be just friends. Yeah, can they just be friends? And that's all it is. That's the question. Can men and women just be friends? And while y'all are typing out, well, let me get in more into why I brought this question up. So all too often, right, have I talked to women just over the years, and they tell me that they have male friends and they see them like a brother. It's probably the number one thing I hear or have heard is, yeah, I got male friends. I'm like their sister, and they are like my brother. But just as often, I ask them, well, how do you look at it? And they tell me, well, again, I see them like my brother. All right, well, how do they look at you? And each time they say things, they see me in the same light. We've known each other for years. So there's a lot of back and forth. Fast forward through those type of conversations, I asked them, have you asked them how they felt about you? What do they think about you? Do they view you the same way? Is this some type of assumption, some type of feeling you have, or have you confirmed with them? So no, I don't need to. I know how they look at me, and so I put on them. I ask them, or go ahead and get with them and ask them. Just ask them directly or indirectly. Throw some hints and stuff, and say, if I wasn't dating somebody, or if you weren't dating someone, could we go out, see where it goes? The point is, if they see you like a brother, like a sister, and you see them like a brother, absolutely not. That answer will always, 100% of the time, be no, because, hey, they see you like a sister. Who dates their sister? I guess. I don't know if people do or not, but who would? So they grudgingly at times and say, okay, all right, I'm going to do it just to prove you're wrong. And then they come back and say, hey, you were right. And without getting into the conclusions of those conversations, they were right. I was right. So, and I had that conversation with someone recently, and that's another reason that made me ask this question. What do y'all think? In my cultural, no. Where's your culture, Don? I think it's rare, but definitely possible. All right, so I'm not talking about, there's an exception to many things in science and otherwise. There's an exception to many things. And I'm not talking about those one-offs, but I'm talking about in general. I say the same thing. I do not look at them like my own sisters in reality, though. All right, so I had a recent conversation with somebody, and she had been, I don't know if she's on here or not, but I'm gonna have to tell it. She had been looking at this guy, friend of hers, that I don't know if she worked with him or not. I can't recall how she knows him, but nonetheless, they've known each other for quite some time, years. And she said, well, he's introduced me to his girlfriend or wife, I can't recall. Why would he? Of course, he looks at me like he wants me to meet her and everything. So I had to school her guys and tell her, well, we do stuff like that, right? So we want to introduce them to the woman, to our woman, our girlfriend, our wife, or mistress, whatever they are, and say, so if we're hanging out with you, we can say, oh yeah, I was hanging with Michelle, I was hanging with Tiffany, or whomever, just so our main girlfriend, wife, won't be upset. And I had to tell her that and be honest. So that doesn't mean, so men are strategic, right? We're strategic. It does not mean what you think. Harris said, Dyson said, absolutely not. Michelle said, once the line is crossed, friendship is out the window. All right, well, what line? We haven't talked about lines being crossed yet, but yes, I agree. Once the line is crossed, the friendship is out the window. But give me an example of that line. Feelings are involved based off the previous studies you just spoke of. With feelings involved, what happens is, and this isn't just that particular study, but specific to this study, I can't recall if feelings were involved, but generally, one of them, and this is in general, not just for that study, one of the people in that friendship is attracted to the other, even if nothing comes from it. We're not meant to be, well, that's where jealousy and infidelity and all of that comes from, right? When one person is attracted to another. And a lot of the times, I think it's the man who may be attracted to the female. The female may not know it. She may, either if it's being naive or in denial. But to answer your question, Michelle, I can't recall if feelings were involved. When I met my now husband, he had quite a few female friends. Once I got to the bottom of it, he now has no female friends. Okay. What do you mean by the bottom of it? What was wrong with his female friends? There's always an undertone of sexual attraction. Yeah, it doesn't have to be overtly. It can be an undertone of sexual attraction. Are you saying that regardless, there's one person at least in that friendship that's going to be sexually attracted to another? Don? If either has feelings for each other, then no, they can't be just friends. And that's a problem, probably, where if one of them does have feelings for the other, if they're not saying anything, why would I not be like, if there was a female I was interested in and she wasn't, she wanted to keep it platonic, why would I not want to be her friend? I can control the narrative. I can control the story. I can control the relationship. But why would I not want to be her friend? That's the ultimate goal, where men, we're strategic and we have long-term goals. I don't care if you don't want to be my friend or you're not interested in me like that. But if you're cool with being my friend, I'm going to stick around just in case you slip up, you get tipsy, you need someone to hold you or shoulder to lean on, crying or whatever the dude you're messing with, he's not acting right. I'm going to be that friend. So why would I not want to be your friend? Yes, we do that. Don, you missed it. I said I may have to give away some of our secrets. So try not to be too upset. I said, but if they just want to hang out and not have feelings for each other, but they are just tight and close together, but not dating, then yes, they can be just friends. And that's the problem. How do you know what the other person is thinking? You ask them, right? You ask them and they tell you what they're thinking. But if that's a part of my strategic goal, which is to be more than just your friend, I'm not going to tell you. A girl I was talking to, was she married? Yes. All right. So married girl I was trying to get with, and I was taking a step back. It was kind of looking from afar and everything. And one day I caught her. She was walking to work. She was crying, and the servant and me went over there to see what was wrong. I knew what was wrong, though. I already knew, but I went and I asked her and everything. Long story short, we had sex about 2.5, 3 weeks later. And that was a long time ago, long time ago, probably had to be 50, 60 years ago, something like that. About 50 years ago. So, but the point was, I did want to hang out. Ultimately, I wanted to hang out, but my definition of hanging out was different than hers. And there were no feelings involved. I didn't care for it. It's whatever. I didn't feel a certain type of way. I had a feeling for one thing and one thing only. But in your statement, Quali, you said if they're tight and close but not dating, then yes, they can be just friends. And that's, again, goes back to the problem, I think, in that one of them may have feelings. A lot of times it's the men, but we know how to strategize. All right, let's see. Every woman I'm friends with, I would now, might not ever happen, but the idea is always present. I used to be like that, Don, again, 40 years ago or so. It was a long time ago. I was like that. I'm not like that, of course, now, but I was like that. The bottom of his illusion of them being his friends. What's wrong with him, Ms. Dyson? You got to the bottom of the illusion of them being his friends. Why couldn't they just be his friends? We've had some people on here say, yes, they can be just friends. He's very delusional. Are you saying that the women liked him and he was just oblivious to it, or he knew it? I'm seeing their secrets go out the window. It says, me agree. So I have to be impartial. In my videos, I try to be down the middle. I'll give my point of view, but I can't, or it would be difficult for me to not be objective. I can be extremely subjective, but what fun is that? Miss Sassy Chick, see, it's not a genuine friendship to me if you're only my friend and hopes to have a chance with me. All right, so now we're getting semantics or technical from the whole genuine friendship. That's not the question. Can they be just friends? But that begs the question, how do you know if a friendship is genuine? Is it considered genuine until it's not, right? Up until the point you learn he is interested in more than just being your friend, was all of it fake, or could some of it been genuine? If their friendship level is low enough for them to be just friends, then yes, they can be just friends. Their friendship level is low enough for them to be just friends. I'm not sure what you're meaning. You're saying both parties want to keep it platonic? Someone said exactly, it's never genuine. Okay, now I'm gonna hold off on that. Quala is a genius. Okay. You played on her emotions. I thought you were a nice guy. Again, so that's when I was a boy. I said it was about 40, 50 years ago. And my mind was on one thing. Oh, chick crying. No, scratch that. I'm a servant, right? So I'm here to serve. Why wouldn't I go and console her? She clearly is crying. She's clearly having husband problems. Who am I not to help her get past those husband problems? Some people will call that being mean if I didn't. It went both ways. He was very sneaky. Okay, I'm not going to get into that, but I get your point, Dyson. Yes, where do all these, you played on her emotions. I thought you were a nice guy. Yes, where do all these smart ideas come from? Somebody wrote, it just depends on if one of the other have feelings for the other, but unless the person understands that the other doesn't have those type of feelings for the other, then still yes. Okay, so you're saying, and I'm picking on the men again. I, as a man, can be sexually attracted or attracted to the woman, but as long as I don't tell her, I can remain her friend. Everybody, some of it is genuine, of course. Everybody wants a friend. Are we meant to be monogamous? By friendship level, I mean how active their friendship is to the point where they want to date, and the lowest is where they are just friends and don't have those type of feelings. That reminds me of a conversation I had with a woman anywhere between 12 and 13 years ago. And I don't even know how we met. I think it was at a symposium somewhere. I can't recall. Nonetheless, we became friends, and it was more email and text friends than anything. And I stopped being her friend once I learned, what did she say? She was having problems with whoever she was with, and said, invited me to come swim in her ocean or pool or whatever she called it. I knew what that meant, so I had to stop because I didn't see her like that. I wish I did, because man, she was on it. Anyway, I had a conversation with that person, with that woman, and she had told me about a male friend she had. That this male friend, she was always calling. He would come get her. Now he was with somebody. But she can call him day or night. If she needed somebody to go out and get some drinks with, he would come. 2 o'clock in the morning, if she was feeling bad and just need somebody to talk to, go for a walk, get some fresh air, he would come. And she said he never tried anything with her. That conversation, I don't know, lasted 45 minutes. 45 seconds within that conversation, I already knew, oh yeah, he likes you. Of course, he's not going to come on to you because the subtle hints he threw at you, you didn't bite. Men, we're strategic. We're not going to call me at 2 o'clock in the morning to come get you because you're drunk somewhere and take you home. We're not going to do that just for the sake. So there's a cost benefit, but we're not going to come and get you. We're not going to go out and have drinks with you, like with your girlfriend or whatever, and that's it. I said, you need to ask. Oh no, he looks at me like a brother, like a sister, and he's told me so. All right, be honest with him. I said, go and try to hit on him. Try to kiss him or something like that. You ain't even got to make it physical, but go and hit on him. Not drunk or anything, but go and hit on him. Or even just ask him, hey, if you weren't with your girl, could you and me have something? And she came back and said, yes, you were right. How did you know? How could you not know? Opportunist. Yes. I don't know if you're talking about I'm an opportunist, but who wouldn't want to take advantage of opportunities in life, right? Isn't life just one opportunity to the next? And the middle level is where they are best friends. All right, Qual. I think you are going far left. The middle level is where there are best friends. That is another topic for another day. I think it is better to deal with one woman, but that usually happens later in life. Why do you think that, Don? Are those your true feelings? The middle is where when you actually see them in person and hang out from time to time and actually engage in activities with them. That sounds like, okay, I can see that. I can see that. He tried in subtle ways. You're right. Yes. If you're talking about the story that I just told, that guy, he tried in subtle ways, but she didn't pick up on it. She definitely did not pick up on it. Who, who do y'all think is more likely to see relationship as platonic, the man or the woman? She was being naive and he was waiting for his chance. Right. Right. So again, this is a stab at us men. We're strategic. And I've waited 6 years for somebody once. And all I wanted to do was just get with them a few times. And that's all. I think that's all I did. I can't recall. She clearly wasn't worth remembering. But she was worth getting with. But I waited 6 years. You're gonna keep living your life. I'm gonna keep doing the same. And then when opportunity strikes, who am I to pass up such a great opportunity? I think having heterosexual friends of the opposite sex is disaster for a successful, healthy relationship with someone. Why does it have to be disastrous? Why does it have to be a disaster to have opposite sex friends in a heterosexual relationship? Women are more prone to believe it's platonic. I agree. Women are more prone to believe it's platonic. See, I think it's difficult to have friends of the opposite sex without at least one of them being drawn to the other, even if one doesn't know about it. I think it's extremely likely that one person is drawn to the other, even if nothing comes from it. But I also think you women mistake men indication of we're putting out sexual interest, but you see it as expression of friendliness. That you think we're just being friendly. Oh, he's so nice. Damn right. Yeah, I'm gonna be nice. I can't try to get with you by being mean. When has that ever worked? But I think men, to be fair to women, I think we consistently or constantly mistake females' expression of friendliness for sexual interest. And I used to be that type 40, 50 years ago. And I mean, let a woman say hi or hello to me in a friendly way. And I'd be like, does she want the D? I'm pretty sure that was a sign. I'm pretty sure she was just flirting with me. All she said was hello. Again, it was a long, what, 60 or was it 70 something, 1970 something. Last time something like that ever went through my head. But I do think women are prone to keep it or look at it from a platonic standpoint. Does it matter how the other person looks, or is it just the fact that they're the opposite sex? It does, and you may have missed that, or maybe I didn't elaborate on it enough. I think it does have something to do with that for for the women, another stab at us men, you just gotta have to have the right parts. We're more likely to get with that. Now, we may not want you around anybody we know. Like, keep this between you and I. But I think for the women, it's more about looks than for the man. I think it happens later because of the nature of masculinity. The nature is to pervade, to penetrate, to conquer. A young man is gonna know. Okay. Women mistake the intention. I get it, right? Right. I talk to a few now, some more frequent than the others, and I kind of get the same sentiment. They all kind of say the same thing if these topics come up, where women mistake it, our sexual attraction or interest, as being friendly, as being friendly. But men, we see that as, I knew they liked me. I knew they wanted to get with me. Someone asks, what about, what did you ask? What about looks? So another question, what about being just friends with someone that has the traits of a person we'd want to date or we'd want to be with? Can I be friends with this woman who has traits of someone I would love to be with? And not just sleeping with sexually, I mean, and they're mine and I'm theirs. It's something serious. No. Okay. Why not? Why why does that matter? Right? Because if they're friends, if they're just friends, if I'm looking at her just as a friend, she she's in the same line of work. She knows a lot of different people. If I need to network, if I need to get around, if I she knows all the trade secrets and all of that. Why does it matter what she looked like? Because as soon as she gives you the opportunity, you will take it. 50, 60 years ago, I would have. But I think a lot of people would, right? Because if they have the traits that you want, the characteristics that you want, what he or she looks like, hey, that would be the perfect person for me. Yeah, probably wise to stay away from that. But who disagrees? Who think that it's okay to be just friends with someone who has the traits that you would be looking for in someone? Renita said it shouldn't matter. Okay, it shouldn't matter, but does it? Women mistake the attention. Women are more prone to believe it's platonic, right? Doesn't matter. Men need a place and time. Most women need a reason. That's an extremely good point. Men need a place and a time, and women need a reason. Yeah. I think most of us men, we don't need a reason. You say, what time is it? Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can be there. All right. So I know what a place and time mean. What are some reasons that a woman might need? But going back to my previous question, is it okay to be just friends with someone who has the traits, characteristics of a mate that you would be trying to get with? Is that okay? You ain't got to jump on her bandwagon. Lisa, you ain't got to do that. Just let that go. Let that go. Yeah, you can let that go. Women need to know it's going to benefit them somehow. Well, if it's good, right, then then it benefits you. You need more of a reason, and the benefit could be you can have them again, right? You're lonely, or you're in the mood, or whatever your reason. You know he's there. Isn't that a benefit? Or you're not talking about those type of benefits? And I want to go back to a comment that someone said before. Can't recall who said it, but it was talking about if one, when we were discussing if one of the people has an interest in the other person. Is that okay if one person has interest in someone else? So, like, ladies, would you be okay if your man had female friends, you knew your man wasn't interested in them, but you knew the females were interested in him? Would that be okay? And the women, and vice versa, men, if you knew your woman had no interest in another woman, but his friends had interest in him, would that be okay? Stroke her ego. You don't need to stroke her ego. I think that's what you're referring to. And the reason why I asked that last question is I've been a part of relationships like that where I did not feel the woman had any interest in the other person in some of her male friends, but I knew without a shadow of a doubt that her male friends had interest in her. Long story short, I ghosted her, and then once I learned that, and she was naive, like, no, no, no. All right, I see where this is going. So that was the end of that. You said that's the benefit some women seek. I think you're referring to when I said the fact that he's around and it was good is a benefit. I think that's what you said. No, I wouldn't prefer it. No, you wouldn't prefer if your mate, your man, had friends that he didn't like, but they liked him. That can be a problem. That can be a problem. Okay. Who else? Who else? And then I'll wait a second. That's a tough one. This is where trust comes to play. But if the person is aware, then they are disrespecting the other partner. Yes, I do think it has to deal with trust. And I think you're talking about if, let's say, let's say the man has female friends, the man doesn't like him, like the woman, but you know that the woman liked the men. It's all about trust, of course. It's what side is in control. So the man in this case would be controlling the narrative. You can trust the man, but temptation is all around us. So even though the man, you trust your man, you can't trust the certain things from being said, shown, or did. That's a problem in and of itself. So would it be better just to kill those relationships, period, or just continue trusting the man? Did you previously said men control the narrative? Well, in that example, yes. I said that the woman trusted her man. The man didn't like the woman, but his female friends liked the man. I said the man and that would be controlling that narrative from the relationship standpoint. So yes, I just don't trust it. Just stay away and find your own friends. It's not going to work. I'll ruin the friendships. Oh, I think he meant it'll ruin the friendships. He or she should terminate the friendship with that person. Okay, that is one perspective. They should. So even though if I have female friends, I know they like me. Maybe I don't know to what degree, but I do know they would like to be more than my friend. I should terminate that even though you have nothing to worry about. What if they've been my friend longer than I've known you? If their motives are sexual or romantic in nature, I would. So then it becomes about motives. Motives, is that something intentionally? Like they've come on to me, or like I've caught them staring at me. And I've had that happen. I was with someone and she was introducing me to her, I think it was a round table, introducing me to her friend or coworkers, and I looked up 3 or 4 times, and each time I looked up, she was just staring at me. It was one of those you catch them and they turn their way. I've had that. I've had that happen. But in that case, this was a little different because it was the friend of the person that I was with. But I've had that problem. Person, Harris said, "Not my problem." Exactly, it's not your. I have a lot to say, but can't find my glasses. I think that's saying enough. So find your glasses and don't type anymore for fear of you saying the wrong thing and accidentally being like on the man's side, for example. I would hate that. I think if someone is truly your friend, if you cut them off for your relationship's sake, they should understand. But what if, again, I've known her, let's say I've known you 5 years, been with you 5 years, and I've known her for 10. And we've been cool. I've been giving her advice, hooking her up with guys and stuff like that and everything. And even during the time that I was with you, but I've known her first, you're saying I should cut her off because you think she likes me. It said if they have expressed it or acted on it, then you know many times you know the motive. What if they didn't? What if, like, so I knew that girl liked me because I caught her staring at me. Now, what if the person I was with, I didn't see her, but the person I was with told me, hey, my friend, and I asked, hey, you haven't talked about your such and such friend in a long time. You know, what's going on? Oh, yeah, I caught her staring at you once and everything. So what if it's something like that where I was told, and I'm changing it up some, but I was told that one of my friends was staring at me, and that's why my girl don't want me to be friends with her anymore because she saw her staring at me. What if it's something like that? So the girl herself didn't come on to me directly or indirectly because I was unaware of it. But what if it's something like that? You either honor the relationship or the friendship. And if you don't want it done to you, then the choice is the choice. I'm not sure what that means. What I'm asking is, what if I was told that my friend was staring at me in a sexual way? What should I do with that friendship? Should I say, okay, well, it's nothing. I've been friends with her for 10 years. She's with somebody else anyway, it doesn't matter. Or should I end it? Would you feel the same if the tables were turned? So, yes, I would. I would feel the same. Well, I need to find out. Let me back up. I'm not sure what you're asking. Tables are turned or what? Hope Dizzy Girl finds her glasses because she says she has a lot to say, but she can't find them. But no, it can't happen. Men look to score at all times. She said, no, it can't happen. Men look to get with people, get with women at all times. Who are we to pass up opportunities, right? Especially we have a servant's heart. I have a servant's heart. Those are facts. Yes, they're facts. Still interested in hearing this table turn bit. I started to comment, but then I realized I wasn't sure what you're talking about. Scoring is a sport to men. That's true to some. It is. I'm Miss Dyson said, I'm his friend now. I guess you're saying you're replacing all the female friends in his life. So you're his friend now. But we have friends for different reasons. We have friends for different reasons. We have friends who we network with. We have friends who, like I have all types of friends. I have friends who I can communicate with on a very intellectual level. As a sapiosexual, someone I'm extremely attracted to intelligence. And I'm not talking about women who can say something intelligent. Like for me, if you're intelligent, that can overtake other what a woman would say is a flaw of theirs because I'm so attracted to intelligence and not necessarily sexually attracted, but just attracted. I'd rather talk to someone I can have deep mental stimulating conversations with. So I have people like that, but I haven't been in relationships with a person like that at all times. So while I respect, hey, I'm his friend now, what if I can't get from you, the person I love, or at least like a lot? What if I can't get from you that I can get from someone else? But I don't want to be with that person. Women should be monogamous. Men should be able to not have their woman minding their business. Don said, women should be monogamous. Men should be able to not have their women minding their business. Okay, so they should definitely mind their business. I hear that part. But if women are monogamous, who are we men sleeping with? Just food for thought. If the woman had the friendship longer than her relationship with you, okay, that's what you're saying. Tables were turned. Yeah, I don't care about that length of time. But then I'm somebody who I've cut off 13-year relationships, friendships, just like that, because of I just got to the point of like, what the hell am I? Why am I even still your friend? We fuss a lot, we argue a lot, or we see differently. Even people that I've loved dearly, and I just let go immediately. but I don't know how common that is. But for me, if the tables would turn, yeah, of course, it works both ways. I don't care if we've been dating for 6 months. If we're at a point where it's considered serious, and you've known this guy for 15 years, one of these is going to have to end, and it's okay if it's me. Trust that if you know this person is interested in you, then you're aware. Okay, all right, that is very good to know, because I don't know if everybody shares that thought. I don't know if everyone would say, "Hey, I tell you that this guy was looking at you, or he made some comments about you." That now you're aware. If they would no longer talk to that person, I don't know if if that's enough. I think it would have for some or many women or just people, it would have to take more than just, hey, he or she was looking at you to end it. She can't because dude wants to smash at Letitia. Okay. Don Mega, well, I'm a man then. I'm not sure where that's coming from or where it's going. So I won't comment on that. Yeah. Oh, so that's another question. Does it matter? Does the length of time matter? I know I said it doesn't for me. I don't care if it's 6 months. You've known them for 16 years. Does the length of time matter? What if they have longevity in their friendship? Longevity, long sustained platonic friendship. You come along in year 10. Does that matter? Should they have to get rid of their friend just because you're uneasy about it? Okay, so not from someone telling you, but if the person knows, person in the friendship. So let's say somebody I'm with tells me, "Hey, my friend was staring at you," or no, your friend was staring at me. So one of my friends was staring at me. If the person I'm with was telling me that, now I'm aware, because if you're saying that's not called aware, then you think that person is lying. So you don't trust what they're telling you to be truth. So if you're saying not from someone telling you, not from the person you're with telling you, but you need to see it for yourself, then for me, that's a lack of faith in what I'm telling you. I can't be with you, because now you're saying that I'm lying. Like, oh well, I didn't catch him, or I didn't hear him. All right, okay, I see. I see. Next time you come home, or the next time you see me or hear from me, it would be about me. You would be hearing about me or seeing about me, but it would not be in person. All right, Don said, no, the length of the so-called friendship does not matter. All that matters, or all that tells me, is that either he has or really wants to show the length of other things. It's a no. Okay. Yeah, so I think, Don, you're talking about being strategic, and we can wait months and months and years. That happened with me. I think it was 6 years. I think I waited for somebody. But I wasn't just sitting around waiting, but I always kept a interest in her from afar, and when it was right time, I struck, and then struck again, and I think it was, I don't know, a handful of times. But nonetheless, right. If I'm uneasy about it, it's for a reason, and time doesn't matter. Okay. I think though, ladies, you would have to admit if you just have the jealous makeup in you, where you're going to be uneasy no matter what. As long as you're honest about the situation. If you're uneasy about it and you're extremely honest, then I think you would have more credence or relevance to being uneasy about it. But if you're just every guy you've ever been with, and every woman who's looked at your man you were uneasy about, I don't know if that's fair, and vice versa. Yes, yep. We say it at the same time. It's men that can be uneasy too. Absolutely. Well, these aren't just, some of these lean more one way or the other, one gender or the other, where men are more prone or likely to do something. And then there are some things women are going to be more likely to do something. So, yes, men can be like that too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of that, who do y'all think is more, who controls the narrative more in a platonic or in a opposite sex friendship? Is it the man or the woman? Who controls the narrative more? Men or women? The woman, of course. Okay. Women. I got two women, three women, one man. Actually, both men. How? All right. So let me break it. I'm agree with Sassy Chick, and I don't like how she changed from men to actually both. Sassy, you can't have two heads, two kings, two queens. Like, you can't have that. So somebody's going to, even if it's 51-49. So I'm going to go with your initial. I think the man controls it, because especially if we overwhelmingly agree that women sees it as more platonic, or more prone to see it as platonic. So if they see it platonic, then they're not looking at all the other elements that go into that relationship other than, hey, it's platonic. Everything they look at says platonic. Men, we know you see it as platonic, so we're controlling it so that you think it's platonic. But at the same time, we're throwing these subtle hints. We are being there when you need us to. We're being there when you want us to, or if you need this and you need that. So we're controlling the narrative so that it looks like it's a platonic, innocent friendship. And that's why I feel that men control that narrative more than women. Women don't be seeing it as platonic. They be knowing they got backup lumber or you're right, Don. Women, I think some, and I can't say with certainty, like few things in life are 100%. But I think more than men, women will be naive and just don't see certain things because they see him like a brother, like they really be believing it. Oh, he's my brother. What they see is platonic, but I feel men, they're controlling things to make sure it looks platonic. The woman's not making it look platonic. She really thinks it is. Sassy Chick said, I changed because I control the narrative by knowing what's up with the men I'm cool with, so I choose how I deal with them. And that's what Letitia is saying. Right. So you're talking about, if you see it, are you saying if you see it, if you know they like you, or just in general, you don't know if they do or not? So you control the narrative by knowing what's up with the person. Man, I'm cool with, so I choose how I deal with them. Yes. So you keep it from a platonic standpoint, right? So you're doing that one thing. Everything you're doing is platonic. Men are throwing. That means you're not throwing any subtle hints, or anything like that. Men are. Men are. You are. We're doing things to make sure it looks platonic. Hey, you need a babysitter, you need some drinking buddy, you need someone you need a man's opinion. That's one I hear a lot. You need this, you need that. I'm gonna do these things. You think of platonic, but it's more than that. You're just not picking up on these hints. Dizzy said, neither person for real wants the person they are with to have a friend of the opposite sex. Then why are so many people saying they're okay with it in certain cases. Right. Yeah. You say some women do not. Right. So nothing is 100% with anything, isn't it? Very few things 100%. So naturally, when I'm saying men and women, I can never say all men and all women, but that's implied. I'm not going to all the time say some men and some women. I will say it at times, but sometimes I just won't. I'll be generalizing. Most of the time, women know if we are going to be honest. And I think if women are being honest, most of the time they don't know. They actually think that it's platonic and they see it as their brother. If you deal with men, you have backup wood, period. All right, Don, I hear you. If you deal with men, you have women through subtle hints, cooking dinner, etc. Women through. Oh yeah, okay. You meant to say women throw subtle hints, cooking dinner, etc. Yes, right. So we're not talking about that. We're talking about strictly platonic, just doing things doing things that you would do that you would not do for other people. 9 times out of 10, I know when a man likes me. Okay. All right. So does that mean you control because you know he likes you? Buying little things, etc. Right? If my woman has male friends, they don't have to wait much longer. Because I'm going to release her to the streets where she belongs. Okay. Okay. That's priceless. I'm gonna have to try to remember that. Why even try to be friends with men? At Miss Sassy. Yeah, right. Why try to even be friends with men? Don, do you have women friends? It's clear Don has women friends. It's clear. I don't know what culture or country or whatever, but it's clear he has women friends. Yes, but that is why I just don't have male friends when I'm in a relationship. Okay, that's smart, Sassy. You don't have male friends when when you're in a relationship. That's smart. Would you get rid of them? I can't recall if you've answered this before. Would you get rid? Let's say you started dating somebody, you're 6 months in, you've had a male friend for 10, 15 years. Would you stop being their friend? I'm cool with men, but being cool and being their friend are different. I'm cool with men, but being cool and being their friend are different. There can be a difference, but we are talking about the friend element here. Okay, the friend. So being if you're cool, that means I'm imagining now. So set me straight. Anything you would do with a friend, you would not do with someone you're cool with, because if you do, now they're a friend. So being cool with somebody, in my opinion, is they speak to you. Let's say you pass them in the hallway at work. Oh, hey, how the kids? Oh, good. How are your kids? All right, cool. All right, I got to get going. That's being cool with them. But having dialogues, conversation, inviting them to the house, and them coming to, let's say you need to go somewhere, you need to ride somewhere, you're calling them, they're coming with you, or you're going with them. That's not just being cool. That's called a friendship. And acquaintances, it's a fine line, but I do think people in general misconstrue that word, acquaintance with a friend. And we're not talking about acquaintance. Acquaintance is a person you know, not someone you would do friend stuff with. Some have male friends for perspective and advice. I hear that one often, Michelle, where they have male friends for perspective and advice. I can tell you that most of us will give you advice and perspective all day long. However, we have an agenda. There's a cost to that perspective and advice. What would you do and who would you choose? I think you're saying, what would I do And who would I choose if I started dating someone and 6 months in and I had a female friend for 10 years? What would I do? Is that what you're saying? Advice come with a string attached to the lumber. That's another way of saying it, Don. One of the yes. All right, the teacher. So you're saying, what would I do if I was dating for someone for 6 months and I had a friend for 10 years? What would I do? That's if they have a problem with it. So first, I'd have to know the person. The person I've been with for 6 months or whatever time frame it is, just a short amount of time. I need to know her character, her makeup. Is she one that's always jealous, always envious, always uneasy? Then I'm more likely to let that relationship go, the person I'm with go, because I can't have that. That's something that I won't put up with. But if you have a real I think it's a real or legitimate cause for concern, then I have to let the friendship go. If the woman's worthy, I'm not just going to longevity doesn't equal benefits. Longevity only means I've been with you for a long time. It does not mean you're held up here or above other people. That's all it means. So there has to be more than just length of time. You have to be worthy. So is there a situation where I would let the friend go? Absolutely. Would I always let the friend go? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Someone wrote, yes, if you are aware. I'm not sure what you're saying, what you're responding to. If you're aware of what? And then if you are aware of that, what does that mean? I'm not sure. So time doesn't play a part. No, it does. What I'm saying, that's not the only element or factor in this equation. It does. It does. But there are other parts. So what? I've been with you for 2 years, and I've known the girl for 10, 12 years. Your 2 years doesn't equal I automatically let go of that 10-year friendship. There has to be other things involved. So longevity doesn't alone equal. Now why do women, it seems, I've talked to quite a few, and 70, 75% of those people kind of align itself with studies I've read over the past decade or so. Women seem to view longevity as growth in a relationship. Why? And that may be getting off topic, but I just thought of it. Why do women see longevity as growth? Don, where are you from? Advice come with a string attached to the lumber. That's a priceless statement. But it does. It can. Because there's a cost to friendship, right? Isn't there a cost to all friendship? It's just depending on what a person's willing to pay. You say not true for you, of course. Uh, I'm glad you feel that way, but, and I can't think of the psychological term, but things aren't always what we think they are, even for ourselves. So you can feel it's not true for you, but be doing something and think, oh no, I would never do that, or I'm not that way. But you've done it. Now I can't say that about you. I'm saying it about people in general. And of course, people in general, they themselves are going to say, no, I don't fit that category. So everybody would be saying the same thing. No, not true for me. What would you do, Letitia? You said, you asked me that question. Right back at you. If you had a male friend for X amount of years, let's say a decade, and you were dating someone a year or two in, and they were uneasy, what would you do? All right, well, I had a situation like that happen and I ended my friendship. Okay. I would choose the 10-year friendship because I've spent too much time on a project. All right, let me try to read that again. I would choose the 10-year friendship because I've spent too much time on a project to let it go for someone I'm already serving. All right, Don. Okay. All right. That's funny. Okay. Letitia, was it worth it? I'm still trying to figure it out. The relationship, the man. That is funny. Don, I can't. That's too much. That's funny. That is one way, Don, of looking at it. I've bumped into some people over the years who are like that, that there's no way. But then it comes down to they were interested in more than just being a friend. In that particular case, we're looking at it as a project or as a long-term goal, like I'm going to get with her no matter what and no matter when, then subsequent relationships may be in jeopardy because you're still going to try to get with the people who've been in your life that preceded her. Said, no, I'm kidding. All right, so was it worth it? No, you're kidding. So are you saying it is worth it or it was worth it or it wasn't worth it? And what do y'all think of? I've met couples where I know both of them. And for some of them, I was, while not certain either of them were messing around, I knew that both of them entertained flirtatious behavior. So men would be flirting with the woman, and the woman would be flirting with the men. I don't know if they ever acted on it, but they were entertaining flirtatious behavior. People coming up to them and flirting and stuff like that. Then I've met just singles or single people. I don't know if they were single or not, but just a man. I meet men or women separately and entertaining flirtatious behavior. Is that okay if nothing happens to it? If nothing goes anywhere? Said, no, I'm kidding. Letitia said, he crossed the line and he knew I was in a relationship. When did he cross the line? Upon him finding out you were in a relationship, or did he know you were in a relationship and then later he crossed the line? Who's lying, Dizzy girl? Did you type that? Glasses? Did you mean it? Did you find your glasses, or what are you saying? Who's lying and about what? Time. 7. Okay. So I can't tell if Dizzy girl is saying somebody's lying. I see this can't be a flirt and get mad if the other person has a flirty friend. No, I'm not saying that. So that's not what I said. What I asked was, is it okay if they're entertaining flirtatious behavior? So that's what I'm asking. Meaning, I as a man, if I'm entertaining a woman flirting with me, that doesn't mean the woman that I'm with is is a flirt. Blatant or subjective? I'm not sure what you're saying. Not sure. Oh boy, at Don. Okay. Hmm. Women shouldn't be flirty. All right. So then, how does a man, if the woman's not flirting, how's a man to be made aware of the woman likes him? Who wants a flirting Jezebel? Okay. Don said, I have a lot of female friends. All right. Okay. Who wants a flirting Jezebel? Men will flirt with one another. Men will flirt with one another. The hell are you? What are you talking about? Maybe I asked something I can't recall, but men will flirt with one another. I'm not sure what you're responding to. Please clarify that for me. Maybe I missed something. Oh, we see the subtle responses. No need for them to flirt. Okay, so Don, you're saying women don't need to flirt and they shouldn't. We as men, we're no. If a woman don't flirt back, men will flirt with men. Or okay. I think for some that is a preference. Thank you. Okay. 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 A woman doesn't flirt back. Okay. Jesus Christ, Michelle, kind of blasphemous. Why are you saying that? Michelle, maybe you're men. No need for them to flirt. What, I'll wait for a few more responses, then I got a different question. Why is it that every time a woman smiles at a man or laugh at a man, joke, I'm flirting? I don't know if you were present when I said, if a woman just says hey or hello to me, or if she did say those things to me, I would think that she want the D, that she flirting. Did I misunderstand her? And I would be thinking like this. And it was a long time ago, probably, I don't know, 40, 50 years ago. But men will see friendliness as sexual attraction. And it's not enough to say, okay, we shouldn't, as it is for a woman to know that we do. So if you know it's being misread, should you change your behavior or expect them to change theirs? Because you control you. If you know that if you know that that stove is hot, should you touch it or ask somebody else to turn it off for you? Yes, so people misread things all the time. I'm glad you said it like that. People misread things, yes. But why is it that when you smile, don't smile at me like that? Don't say, hey, I know women who call everybody babe or honey or sweetie. And Absolutely. What do y'all think about that? What if I called, I just want, hey, babe, how's it going? Or hey, honey, how's it going? I'm just saying that to everybody, men and women. I think it's different, especially if we're talking about heterosexual. I think it's different for a man to say, hey, honey, how's it going? But for if a woman was to call everybody honey or sweetie, men and women, is that a problem? Don said, I'm a man. I would never flirt with a man. That's disgusting. We're not like women who experiment with each other out of boredom. Don, I don't think that happens just because they're bored, but we are going down another path that we should probably not go down. Not changing nothing because I am going to be polite because some person thinks I want them. That's crazy. No, it's not crazy. It's life where people are going to think you want them just because you're nice. No, you don't have to change. Just don't expect change, right? So only person you can change is yourself, as long as you're okay with them thinking it. And if they think it and they tell your man, then that causes problems. So now you really got a problem. So now you have to decide, do you keep who you are no matter what and potentially lose that relationship? That happened to me 14 years ago. 14 years ago. Then I looked like the mean black woman. They think they can think what they want. True. Yeah, absolutely. We all can think whatever we choose. That is absolutely true. I would never flirt with a man. That's disgusting. Do they allow that in your culture, Don, to flirt with men? No, but uh, the mean black woman thing, we touched on that before, and that's an unfortunate thing, having to change what you are and how you act. But we can't be oblivious or act like it. How we are, how we act sometimes can have an impact or give an impression, and it's how we respond to that impression, what we think about that impression. That's what matters. Women should stop being flirtatious whores, he called them. Not all ladies. And then you say respectfully. Okay, like that changes it. No, in my culture, you could get killed for that. Okay, all right, that's narrowing it down where I think you may be from. Flirting with a man can get you killed. Okay, so it's a catch 22. It can be. Yes, it can be. Happened to me, like I said, I think it's 14, 15 years ago, where she was extremely polite and friendly, and she was always smiling. That was her personal. That was her nature, smiling and being a certain way. And it caused a problem when this guy came up to me and told me, "Yeah, I think your girl, man, she's been flirting with me and everything. Well, what did she say and stuff?" And he was telling me things that went along with that type of behavior. If someone's always smiling and calling somebody honey or whatever, that's not to say it absolutely means they would say other friendly things, but it likely means that they would also be friendly in other ways, and that cause some problems. What kind of pivot? What are some healthy boundaries? Let's say if now I'm back kind of down the middle where men and women can be friends, just friends. What are some healthy boundaries that we can put in place? And I had to learn that. I had to learn that. Best friend of mine early on, like we would sleep in the same bed. It wasn't an issue. Wasn't an issue at all. And I mean, we would use the bathroom in front of each other, like we were best of friends. And I've since grown up and changed my stance on a lot of things. And that just That was an unhealthy thing that I was doing. But what are some boundaries we can put in place? What are some boundaries we can put in place? You said those are good boundaries. I didn't list any boundaries, Don. I was saying what I was doing wasn't unhealthy, but you're saying, hey, you don't see anything wrong with that. Women should cover their shapes, hair, and scent around men. You're really narrowing down where I think you're from. And so you said it's not acceptable at all, my story. No, it wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't acceptable. But hey, that's what we did. You know, she would beat down a handicapped person for me if I needed her to. She didn't care. We rolled like that. No, I named the boundaries above that. Where are the boundaries above that? Oh, okay. The boundaries are women should cover their shapes, their hair, and scent around men. Okay. They know all their partner's friends. I'm not sure. Are you asking, does the other person know who they're all friends with? I don't know. I don't, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Oh, are you saying that's a boundary that they need to know all their partner friends? And lower their, okay. Okay. What are some boundaries? I don't think I've heard of any. I've heard of what you can't do. Don told me his, what you can't do, besides what I was doing. I also don't think you should criticize or talk bad about the person you're with to your opposite sex friend. I don't think that. What are some others? I think a good boundary is to make sure the partner knows my male friends and meet. Yes, yes, that's good. But I've met, so somebody brought up catch 22, and it's unfortunate. I've met the boyfriends or husbands of women I was sleeping with. So what?